and I just heard chink, that first anchor. The second anchor, chink, and then that third anchor, chink, 30 feet in the air. Dude, he came down on the boulder like flat. Boom! And I was still pulling ropes like, we gotta call the UFC and let them know. And he's like, nah, man, we can't say nothing. I'm not supposed to be rock climbing. Razor Rob and Jens Pover were the guys back then.
Heel hooked and popped my knee. Like tore my ACL. Like wiggled my leg and my whole knee was like jiggle. That was like one of my best fights ever.
We rode bulls one time before a fight. Like none of us were bull riders except for him. But like I said, if he's got an idea, you're all gonna do it. For anybody out there watching that thinks he needs to hang it up, shut your mouth and just wait and see. You know what I mean? You're gonna watch it anyway, so shut up and enjoy the show. You know what I mean? Just leave him in there for a little while. So what? It looks like he's getting beat up. Let him get beat up for a little while. He's gonna come back.
You think someone who owned a pool table would be all right, but I'm not.
Came out for the BKFC tryouts. Cowboy let us host them here. Kind of cool. We had 2 weeks. We had to gain interest, so we decided to use his name to bring people out, and it was a good turnout. I think we got a lot of guys just come out because it was his ranch, so it turned out really good for us. Shadow boxing, bag work, mitt work, and then I do a seminar in there explaining to them what it is, what we do. It was good. We actually had more prospects than I thought we were gonna have.
It's kind of cool. I remember doing this for kickboxing with K1 tryouts in Vegas years ago in my career. It's kind of cool to see the young, hungry kids coming and trying to be part of it. He was asking me, he goes, what are they doing? I said, they're all trying out for a league.
We had 7 interviews in New York. 115 guys showed up. Here, 27 of them showed up. On 2 weeks' notice, that's pretty good. Out of those 27, I think we've seen 7 of them that we're hopefully going to sign, so it was a good turnout.
I remember several times up with Dwayne Ledwick in Colorado. He used to come up and roll up and his shirt's too big, his pants too baggy, gold teeth. Back in his extracurricular activity days, we'd always ride around there and be like, what's he do? I said, what you mean, what's he do? So that was my first meeting of Leonard. We became friends right away. Then Leonard signed a fight with Roger Warta. He came down here to Greg Jack. What were you there, a week, 2 weeks?
I was there for 3 days. So I was like, do you guys know Cowboy? And they were like, yeah, we know Cowboy. Like, yeah, I'm gonna reach out to him, see if he can come up. I give him a call, he's on the roof. I said, what are you doing? He was like, well, I'm roofing. What are you doing tomorrow? And he was like, I'm roofing. I was like, dude, I just got in the UFC. I need help training for a fight. I need you. And he was like now? I said, I mean, as soon as possible. And he was like, hold on, I could be there tonight or tomorrow. And while he was down here, he made the team as a lightweight because he was whooping everybody. I don't know, I think he had a house. I think he had a roofing company, everything else. Had a tap out reality show after that, and then he went and fought in Japan. How was that fight in Japan? 2 weeks notice? 2 week notice fight in Japan against the #1 dude in Japan. They brought him down to lose, and he smashed that dude, triangle choked him, beat the piss out of him, then he got back here. I was like, George St. Pierre came down and Cowboy smashed him. It's your shot. And when he was able to do what he was able to do to everybody here, they signed him, and then he fought, I can't remember what that dude's name was. What was his name? Very first fight. Kenneth Alexander. He caught him in I can't remember what it was. It wasn't even a hold. He just kind of made it up. We called it the lasso. I think Cowboy didn't like that name, thought it was corny. Don't try to go all the way down with it. I remember I was famous early on when I fought Huerta. I couldn't believe that people would pass right by Cowboy to like get a picture with me. Cause I was like, if y'all knew what this dude was capable of, you'd want his picture now. And I would tell people that, and he was like, it doesn't matter. Was that the 8? Winner. It was cool though, cause he never was that dude that was like, oh, I'm Cowboy, I'm this, I'm that. He would like take the camera and take the picture for them with me. And I always thought that was cool because, I mean, you know, when you're good at something and somebody in there does something that you can do but do it exceptionally, it makes you look at that person different. So I would see him as Cowboy from the gym and what he was able to do to people, and it would make me feel like if they only knew, you know, if these people only knew who was taking their picture. And then now it's like they know. For sure, he's one of the best I've ever sparred against, the best I've ever trained with. And I mean, everybody knows now, so I don't have to say that over and over, but definitely the best dude that I know. In this, like you meet a lot of good people, like the dude that came up for his mother just now. There's good people in the world, and he's one of them, so I'm glad to be his friend because of it. So.
Hello?
Hello,
Yes,
this is Cowboy.
Cowboy who?
Cerrone.
Yeah, sure it is.
Well, I'm FaceTiming you so you can see me if you look at your phone.
Oh my God!
I'm here with.
Oh, look at there, Mike!
Hey Lou,
You just made my day!
I hope so. He signed the cowboy hat for you too.
Oh, bless your heart, I'm getting fuzz so I can wear it.
Good,
How are
perfect.
you doing?
I'm doing well. How are you doing?
I'm doing awesome. When you fight again?
I don't know. I'm taking a little me time.
You got 2 babies now.
I do.
Yeah.
How are you doing? All right?
You're my all-time favorite fighter.
I appreciate that.
All time.
I appreciate that.
So I will try to watch every fight I can get from you, see from you.
Well, I'll try to keep going for you. All right?
Well, I'd love it.
Already.
You
I'm going there tomorrow.
okay.
Go play on the lake.
We'll have a good time, okay?
Thank you for taking my call. I appreciate it.
You bet.
Already.
Bye-bye.
Love y'all.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
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 Thanks, man.
Oh,
She says, yeah, right.
Yeah, when I moved down here, I never went home. Came down on a flight, told my grandma to sell my house, and she would just come down and visit me and Leonard and just slowly bring clothes and a computer and whatever we needed. She even sold the house for me. She just took care of everything up there. We never went home. And then we lived in talk about people struggling, like a closet.
This right here
Right.
was our room.
You can only fit
I'm not-
a double bed in it.
A bunk bed.
Double bed, and if I was standing putting on clothes, he had to sit in the bed. We had our computer in there too, remember?
Yeah.
We had a computer, and that was that.
If he had company, I had to deal with it underneath him. If I had company, he had to deal with it
This is
above
when
him.
we were both running wild.
Yeah, we were young. We were young single men back then. It was funny, man. Like you're never comfortable with somebody sleeping right above you. But we were, you know what I mean? It was weird. It was like, all right, he'd jump down and change, and then we'd get up, or I'd jump down and change. We had like a good respect for each other. It was always cool, man. But living that close to somebody, you learn so much about them. And you know, like, I mean, I knew whenever I told BKFC, I'm going to hold the tryout, and they're like, you got to do it in New Mexico. I knew I was going to hold it here, even before I asked him, because I know who he is. You know what I mean? I knew I didn't have to make the phone call, but I did it because that's just who we are. You know what I mean? Like, I don't like just showing up. But, I mean, hell, if he was here, if he wasn't here, I knew he was going to let me do it no matter what. So that's always comforting to know. Like, even if I were to ever hit a low in life, I know I got somewhere I could come and he would help me. I mean, he's done that. He asked me, what do you owe him now? And I was like, I owe him my life. And, you know, it's one of those things, man. It's funny when you say that out loud. But when you think about it and you get the perspective of it, it's real. You know, like, you know, if he ever called me and he told me I had to hold a dig, I'd dig it. I wouldn't ask any questions. I'd just start digging. So I know he'd do the same for me. So it works both ways.
So how many holes have you dug?
I'm not answering that question.
Oh, you jump
I
shot?
tried to jump it.
We actually tried to. This is a funny story. We got this house. Someone set us up with a house, and the lady, she's going through a divorce or something, right?
Yeah.
She needed to get rid of her house. So we said, all right, we moved in, paid all the rent up front. And then that was the time when Leonard and I were kind of putting on this, kind of like we do here, but we call it, what do we call it? Tap out training?
Tap out house.
Tap out house. So we'd have kids, eight different people a month would come out and live with me and Leonard and train. And we'd take them to Jackson's, and Tap Out would send them all clothes and bags. And so we rented this house from this lady, and then we'd have these other houses, these other rooms that we'd let these kids stay in. And then the main bedroom we never even got because it was the ladies, remember?
Yeah.
She left all her all her stuff.
So that's how nice we were.
Yeah, we were like, don't worry about it, it's cool. It was like a 5-bedroom. We're like, go ahead, leave all your stuff in there. But then the lady found out we were friends with Brad Penny, and her kids were about there. She's a baseball player. We're baseball fans. We got them signed pictures and autographs. And then the lady started putting together, found out who Leonard and myself were, and that we had money. So the next thing we know, we got a judgment in court, getting sued.
Yeah.
We got sued for $25,000, saying we were subleasing our house.
So if you back up, we sold her house for her.
Yeah.
We let her keep all her furniture at our place. We got her kids merchandise from a professional baseball player.
And we used her as the realtor to show us this house.
Yeah, used her as a realty agent to buy the ranch, and like gave. We never saw it coming. When we got the letter, the summons to go to court, we thought it was a joke. We showed up with no attorney, nothing, and got railroaded because we thought for sure they were playing a prank.
Yeah.
And I mean, walked out and they had a judgment on us. You know,
$25,000 we had to pay. It was, and that at the time.
We have very different ideas of what a funny story is.
Yeah.
Leonard was fighting in the UFC. I was barely in the WC, so I was making like 10 and 10. No money. Like it took all the money we had to pay the lady off, and then we didn't have any money, so we had to get put on a payment, and then we had I think like 6 months to pay it off on the ruling of court, and it was brutal. There was a couple fights we just fought, and they just handed her our whole check. I mean, $25,000 is a lot of money to just get railroaded by, you know. And then we found this place and moved in here.
Yeah. Well, I tell you, it's funny. He found this place, but the idea of this place came from that little room in there. He would talk about it. He'd say, "Man, I want to be able to do this." Like everything you see here, he built in his head way before it was ever here. Like every time I see him, something new construction's going up. Like, what are you building now? But I know, like, I remember the idea. I remember hearing it. I've heard it so many different times. So it's cool to be able to walk up to a gate that's got the horses and everything on there because I heard about that gate way before it ever even happened. So
like
it was
the boom boom room from the movie Life.
Yeah, boom boom room. That's right.
So I was just laying in bed at 2 o'clock in the morning, and I just.
I mean, you would hear the story. I would hear it, and it was like it was cool to hear it and then be able to be here and see it. I mean, when you talk about believe in yourself, believe in what you can do, like I definitely seen it happen, and it helps me now that I'm where I am in life. Like I know for sure that it can happen. If you really believe it, it can happen.
We've had some fun times, man. Traveling the world, state to state fighting, cutting weight, girl problems.
See, right when he said that, you see what happened there? He said girl problem. I don't have those anymore. Neither does he, so we're good. The good thing about Cowboy is money never made him who he was. So
Fuck.
I'm about to whoop him in the pool again. I'm Mexican, man. You know, I climb a fence every now and again, but I really don't. You know, I wasn't really interested. And he was teaching me how to belay, how to do all these things, and he had all these fancy terms and all this stuff. He knew all about it. And we go up there, and he was like, I said, well, I'll go. And he's like, nah, I'm going to go up first, and I'll test it. So he goes and sets all the anchors. And then he climbs almost about halfway, and he's like, maybe I should test it here. And he's like, now I'm going to go all the way up. So he goes up, well, at least 25, 30 feet, man. 30 feet. So I'm at the bottom, right? And if they fall, you know, you got to belay and catch them on the rope. And me and Mike Valle, we're his striking coach. And he's way up there, man. And I was like, hell yeah. And he says, hey, I'm going to jump and I'm going to pull it. If it pulls out, pull your rope. And I was like, all right, Mike, help grab the rope, you know, just in case. And, man, dude, he was up there and he jumped back from the rock. And I just heard, chink, that first anchor blew out, threw rocks on us, you know, like little rock. And I was like, oh, hell. So he's like, like, yeah, you reel me in. So I was like, man, I'm trying to go. And as fast as I was getting that rope down and Mike was right there helping me, the second anchor, chink. And then that third anchor, chink, man, 30 feet in the air. And we were like here, mind you, he's climbing up. Dude, he came down on the boulder, like flat. Boom, he hit it. And I was still pulling rope, like, boom, he hit. And I was like, oh, hell no. Oh, like stiff as hell. And they're like, don't touch me, don't touch me, don't touch me. And we're like, what do we do? And he's like, man, nothing. Man, he like laid there for a second, made some weird noises, and then he rolled over, and dude, like the oldest, looked like an old man, rolled over and then started getting up. And I was like, dude, you shouldn't get up. Like, to call the ambulance, let's do this, let's do that. He got up and like tried to take a step and was like, dang it. And then like a few seconds later, he's like moving around. He's like, all right, let's go. And we grab all the bags, and he grabs a bag. I was like, dude, you can't carry a bag. He's like, how the hell are we gonna get it out of here? Carries the bag, and then we came home, and he was like, oh man. And he like pulls down his shorts, and he had drawers on, but he pulls down his shorts, dude. He's black from right here all the way down, like a black like the TV.
I had a fight 2 weeks later.
Yeah. Hey, black. Like he looked like a black dude. All the way down to the heel and to the bottom of his foot. And we're like, dang it, man. So Mike is freaking out saying, hey, we got to call the UFC and let them know. And he's like, nah, man, we can't say nothing. I'm not supposed to be rock climbing. So, I can't remember what the hell if he got an ice or something. Then we went to go see a doctor, and the doctor was like, you fell from where? And he was like, he looked at him, and because Cowboy walked in there, and he was like, no, he didn't. He took his pants off, and that dude was like, you fell 30 feet onto a rock? And he was like, oh, your bone's got to be broken. He was like, well, that's what we're here for. X-ray me and see what's up. Like, am I going to be able to fight? Or, you know, you watch that movie Friday Night Lights?
Yeah.
Where Boobie Miles is like, well, can I play ball? Can I play ball? He's like, can I fight? Can I fight? And the doctor's looking at him like, X-rayed him. And the dude had no brakes. And he said, he's made of rubber. Like, you got to be made of rubber. Hey.
Those anchor points, they slow you down at all?
Do what? Yeah, just grabbing like a...
That's a no.
I ended up winning the fight, I remember that. Yeah, I ended up winning.
But he was still bruised.
Yeah.
Like, still had the bruise and couldn't cover it up with shorts because it was like all the way down. And they wouldn't let us tape his ankles. Like, cause they stopped allowing the tie tape all the way up. But yeah, it's like, it was obvious, it was evident, but he had tattoos. So it was like, it kind of looked like a tattoo, to be honest. Like, you know when you black yourself out? That's what it looked like. And it was like, how's he gonna fight? What's he gonna do? And went out there and won the fight. And I was like, I think he threw kicks with it. So, I mean, but Cowboy would tell you, I want to break my legs every time I kick somebody. I kick them so hard, I don't care if they break. I just want to land a kick hard. That dude in Chicago found that out the hard way, man. Cowboy kicked his head all the way off. Kicked him so hard, dude fell down, collapsed under him, and he's going to go over there and punch him. And he was like, pfft, he's dead, man. I really thought that he's going to have some. He was never the same after that fight, but it was like a hell of a kick.
The best part of growing up together was fighting together. Like when he fought Jens Pulver, and I fought Razor Rob down in Seminole in Florida. Like just traveling down there together, preparing with your buddy the whole time. Like we're both cutting weight. We're both sneaking sodas, and I'm sneaking beer, he's sneaking soda. You know, just cutting weight the wrong way and doing everything the wrong way, but going down there and fighting together. And then I remember I wanted that Razor Rob fight forever. I got it, and went down there and I won, and then come back like, all right, man, now it's your turn. Like I know the pressure's on, but now it's really on. You know what I mean? Like go out there and give it hell. And he knocked old Jens' head all the way off.
If you'd have seen the celebration, they were all giddy, jumping around, like jumping off, hugging each other, and like people were trying to like, hey, good job. But me and him were like, we tractor beamed. It was like, yeah, all happy, we're jumping. And you think about that afterwards, you're like, man, no, there were people seeing us making a fool, but it didn't matter. We were just like, it was just like those are the best feelings, man. Because I seen what all he went through to get ready. He seen what all I went through to get ready, and then when you see it, it's just cool. And it was like Razor Rob and Jens Pulver were the guys back then. They were the names, and it was like me and him were guys coming up, and Jens Pulver was like, dude, nobody's gonna know you after this fight. And Razor Rob was like, dude, I'm gonna clean your clock. And me and him were sitting in the back, like you said, not even caring about who we were gonna fight because we were prepared. We're like worried about sneaking stuff, like, hey man, go bring a Coke. And then, man, that dude said he's gonna kill you and he's gonna murder you. Like, hey, did you get that Coke? You know what I mean? Like we didn't care, and it was cool. It's the best thing when you got somebody riding with you, because it's like they say, man, being rich alone isn't fun, but when you have that same richness with that camaraderie, man, it makes it different. You know what I mean? Like you both accomplish something together, and it feels good when it's not just you. You know what I mean? It's cool. And then when like now I get to sit back and I see the you know, a movie with him in it or whatever, like, you know what big deal that is to me. Like I make everybody go to it, like, hey, Cowboy's in the movie, Cowboy this, Cowboy that, and it's like they'll go and he'll have like a little part in it. That little part made the movie for me. I'm like, look, did y'all see? You know, and it's like a big deal. Just you love seeing that success because I know what he had to do to get it. So it's like I appreciate it more than anybody else would because I was there. I seen it happen. Like I said, I seen it from that little room when it happened, and it's like it makes me happy. Like, yeah, you know, like somebody did it. Somebody came up and made it happen. So like just being in here telling stories and talking about it is cool because you've seen it, you know what I mean? So it's like it's good. Well, I'll tell you, when I retired, he was cool with it. You know, he was like, yeah, do what you got to do. And then when I told him I was going to come back and fight, it was like, get your butt down here. You know what I mean? I know what you used to do up there when you were down there, and I know you're a different person now, but you need to come here. My first fight in BKFC was a gift and a curse, because I dropped everything I was doing and came down here for 6 weeks and trained like a crazy man for 6 weeks and was like, good. Went out there and won the fight. He was there. It was the coolest thing, you know what I mean? It was like, cool, we had a moment again, like, we did it, you know what I mean? Like, you seen all the work that I put in. But then it gave me a false perception of what I could do. I said, okay, cool. I'm a monster. I'm this, I'm that. I started believing what everybody said. Like, dude, all you got to do is shut it down for 6 weeks. Go to the ranch. You're going to win. So I thought I could do that again. I shut it down for 6 weeks, trained. Then I went out there and I got beat by somebody who was a little more prepared than I was. And then it made me remember what he said earlier to those guys. The grind and the hustle and everything to get there is what's going to get you there again. So I took my beat up self and I was like, yeah, 6 weeks ain't going to do it. You're a professional athlete. Act like a professional. So I got ready for a year and a half and I went out there and beat the #1 dude in the world at 165. How did I do it? By listening to what my friend told me, what I learned along the way. All the lessons in life came out in that fight, so that's when I knew it's time to go. I felt as good as I was going to feel. I did what I was going to do, and I mean, hell, there's nothing higher than #1, so I was just like, well, this is the best time to walk away, so I walked away. And it feels good now, and just being able to come out here and still be a part of it, like it keeps the itch low. Because we all, it's like, people tell me, when's Cowboy gonna quit? When's he gonna stop fighting? When Cowboy wants to quit and Cowboy wants to stop fighting, that's when I'll tell him, go ahead, time to hang it up. I'll never tell him it's time now, never, because he never told me, and he could have many times. He could have told me when I was trying to come back, man, dude, are you sure? Like, bare knuckle, he could have said anything. He just said, get down here. That's what he said. So I'm telling him the same thing. I don't care what anybody says. I know what you can do, and do it until you can't anymore. That's what he said he's going to do. Fight. He said he'll use a walker to get to the ring to go in there and fight. If he still feels it, go ahead and do it. I'll watch it. And that's the thing. Like, who's not going to watch Cowboy Cerrone fight? I don't care how hard he is on himself. I don't care what he thinks, like, man, I've lost these or lost that, because you know what? When I was on a skid and I was losing, he never told me nothing. He just said, train hard, do what you got to do and make it happen. And that's what I did. So for anybody out there watching that thinks he needs to hang it up, shut your mouth and just wait and see. You know what I mean? You're going to watch it anyway, so shut up and enjoy the show.
Razor Rob, I couldn't kick or run or do any cardio that entire fight. Remember, because we went out to Rogers in Minnesota, and what was his name?
Dave Monet.
Dave Monet heel hooked and popped my knee, like tore my ACL to the point where I'd like wiggle my leg and my whole knee would like jiggle. So I was like, damn. And so I couldn't run. I remember we go to the gym and I get on a little bike with the hand things. And I just there and crank and just hit pads. No kicking, no nothing for that fight. No running, no cardio, and that was like one of my best fights ever. I loved it. But I think fighting's a lot in your mind, So the body, amazing thing. It heals, and never had any surgery on either one of my knees. I tore them, ripped them, pulled them. But just having the crazy mentality to go in there and fight through it all, that's the thing that you can't teach, you can't show. It's just in you or it's not. So when that leaves me, that's when I know it's time to hang it up.
How long, so was it after that Dana stopped telling you to do crazy shit, or when did he stop telling you?
The whole time.
The whole time what?
Yeah, he told him not to do crazy stuff the whole time. Like, he was barred from all of that from the very beginning. We rode bulls one time before a fight. Like, none of us were bull riders except for him, but like I said, if he's got an idea, you're all going to do it. So I got a picture of me riding a bull, and it was one of the greatest experiences of my life. I loved it. It was crazy. It was nuts. But they would tell me, don't do anything he tells you to do. But further than that, don't do anything that he does, and you're good. And I mean, that's easier said than done. You know what I mean? It's like easier said than done for sure. I had never ridden a mountain bike in my life. His took me up to a crazy run, and I thought I was gonna die like 8 times. Remember, I tell y'all a story all the time. I didn't know the gears. I didn't know nothing. He just, like a 5-second class. Look, you click this side to go lower, you click this side to go faster. Once you get to the top, we're going down, so you just coast down and try to stay on the bike.
Is that at Angel Fire?
At Angel Fire.
Yeah, I got that speech too. Yeah.
So there you go, and it's like, boom, you're in it, and it's like, it's cool to see the happiness in him when you do it. If I'd have said, nah, I'm just gonna sit down here, he wouldn't have been upset with me, but it wouldn't have made him happy. You know what I mean? So it was like, all right, cool, I'm gonna do it, and I did it. But on the same token, like, I risked everything that I had to go up there and do it. But yesterday, I say, hey, I want to ride the buggy out here. He didn't say no. You know? What he did say is, that damn thing costs $60,000 and this dude wants to just take it for a joyride. Get the hell on. You know what I mean? Like, go. Mm-hmm. And Leah's like, why'd you let him do it? He was like, I'm not going to tell him no. You know? And it's like that. It's just, you know, the logic is there and it makes sense. But yeah, we always banned from doing anything. I was banned from doing anything the Cowboy did, but neither one of us ever listened, and we just did it. They probably, I mean, I don't know, but that's why, that's what's so exciting about it. It's like,
But we never pulled out of a fight.
No, never.
You know, we always showed up.
Fought with broken bones, everything. Like, and you know, it's just, I mean, if the ref stops it, we don't have any control over that. But I know he'll keep going. You know what I mean? Just leave him in there for a little while. So what? It looks like he's getting beat up. Let him get beat up for a little while. He's gonna come back. And that's the best thing. You know, it's just like, they say ride it till the wheels fall off, and he's gonna ride it till his wheels fall off. But not the wheels, his wheels. When they fall off and he can't no more, that's when he'll stop. So it'll be good. At that point in time, we'll see the last of it. So it'll be good. He's the only person I really believe that with, that's saying you're gonna go to hell and back. And I was like, yeah, I know, I've been there. And he'll take you with him. It's good. You always come back though. You don't just go to hell, you come back so you're good.